The band will not be performing at halftime tonight. They will be doing a complete show, post-game show.
Just lost somebody. The announcer was electrified.
for it anyway. A little loud, a little loud.
Welcome to tonight's game between the visiting Gateway Gators and your Franklin Regional Principal Justin Summers, Athletic Director Don Hall, Head Coach Sean Hall, Assistant Coaches.
Hello and welcome to Franklin Regional High School here in Murraysville, Pennsylvania, just east of Pittsburgh for tonight's season finale, regular season at least, headed toward the playoffs here in 5A. It's a final Big East Conference matchup here in 5A. Hi everyone, Vince Russo alongside Spencer Witt for tonight's contest as the Gateway Gators, who enter in at 6-3 overall, 3-1 in the Big East, will take on the Franklin Regional Panthers, who are 3-6, 2-2 in conference play. So good to have you all with us here tonight. Should be a great matchup between two teams that are both playoff bound, Spencer. And so what are your keys for tonight? What are some of the things that you're picking up on as we're just a moment away from kickoff?
Well, I think the biggest thing for both of these teams is just kind of getting the kinks out for the last minute play here for the regular season, kind of making sure everything's right for playoffs, especially for Franklin Regional. I think Franklin Regional on the outside looking in compared to Gateway. They want to get a good game against Gateway to show that they have the ability to upset some teams going into the playoffs.
The playoffs feature 12 out of the 18 teams from 5A making it into the postseason tournament. The top 4 will receive byes straight to the quarterfinals. The other 8 will have to play to earn a spot in the quarterfinals. The Gators, as early projections show, they're number 4 right now in the Trib Live High School Sports rankings. What do you think their shots are at getting one of those byes for the first round?
Pretty good, pretty good. We talked about it prior to the game, and I think that especially for Gateway, they've been looking good all year. Obviously defeated Connellsville last week, and they kind of showed how well they can play against teams like that. And it's teams against Franklin Regional, like in this final match. If they can go out and really destroy Franklin Regional, and I put that nicely, but really put a good effort against the Panthers, I think it'll show that they deserve to be a top 4.
So the two teams will meet at midfield. Captains will shake hands, and we are just a moment or two away from getting this one underway. They're doing the ceremonial coin toss. Special teams unit already out on the field for the Gators. The captains out there for the Gators: number 60, Hunter Dow; number 12, Aiden Smith; and number 16, Carson Engelke. Again, the Gators enter in at 6-3 overall in the season, as you see there on your screen. As we're happy to have everyone along with us tonight on both YouTube and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Setting things up for you here, Franklin Regional looks like they will kick off. Gateway will get the ball and go right to left across your screen. They're wearing their road white uniforms with gold trim, black numerals, black pants with gold trim, and gold helmets with Gators written in script on the side. On the other side, Franklin Regional in all blue uniforms, blue tops, blue bottoms, gold trim, gold numerals, and gold helmets with FR in blue on the sides. And we're just about ready to get this one underway, set to kick off as Joseph Bain, the 5'7" freshman, lined up to kick this one off from the 40. And we'll get this last regular season contest underway between the Gators and the Panthers here at Franklin Regional. Kick is off. It's a short one that'll land about the 30-yard line. And taking it up over the 40, over the 50, the Gators get great field position to start as the return man is run out of bounds, but not before getting into enemy territory there. And so a good start here for the Gators as Inez Jordan able to take that one up and into the Panthers territory, getting close to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, good kick return from Jordan. It almost looked like Franklin Regional kind of made that on purpose. Almost looked like they're going to set it high in the air, have their defender or their attackers go down there. But Inez Jordan decides everybody's crashing in, hop out to the outside and break out for a couple yards. Good start for Gateway.
So the Gators go to work at the 40-yard line of the Panthers here. Great field position to start. 3 receivers set. Jaquan Reynolds, the sophomore, is the sidecar running back. next to the other sophomore, Brett Birch. Birch going to hand it off to Reynolds. Reynolds with a big hole. He makes a few miss, and he'll get close to first down yardage, and it looks like he will move the chains. They'll get past the 30-yard line. Needed 10, got 12, so first play from scrimmage is a 12-yard run by Reynolds.
And you see, like you mentioned, big hole from 43 and 56, I believe that is on the line, who was able to give Reynolds that explosion and give himself the first down.
Remy Bowes and Timothy Bryant. Now the ball comes loose. The Gators have to get on top of it. They will quickly, but an errant play there will drive them all the way back to just about where they started. They'll lose 13 yards back to the 41-yard line. As Birch was pressured, the ball came loose, but the Gators able to get back on top of it.
Hey, take a look at the replay from Birch. Just slipped out of his hands. I mean, nothing crazy about it. He thought he had over-the-top route down the left side of the field, but the ball just fell out, and Gateway lucky to get back and jump on that one.
So it'll now be 2nd and 21. Ball at the 41-yard line of the Panthers. Birch set in the shotgun once again. Brad Birch will send Jaquan Reynolds in motion. Now he'll send his brother Brett Birch in motion. Screen pass behind the line of scrimmage to Brett, but now Brett's going to go to throw it. He drops the ball, and another fumble. This time the Gators won't get it back. The Panthers fall on it. And a couple plays here early, not sure. There's no more rain, Spencer, on the field at the moment, but there was some rain before the game. You see some drops here early from the Gators, and now it's Franklin Regional will take over with great field position.
Yeah, someone should have told the Birch brothers not to eat Butterfingers before this game, and just another one that falls out of Birch's hands. This time Brett Birch, like you said, nothing crazy about it, nothing wrong. He just fell out of his hands. It's almost bizarre to see that, 2 plays in a row.
And so now the Gators defense will trot out onto the field, a unit that has been excellent thus far this season, allowing just 13.4 points per game. They are 2nd in 5A, only to undefeated #1 team in 5A, the Moon Tigers. Shotgun set for Franklin Regional, 2 receivers set. RPO, they'll hand this one off to the tailback. He'll get a few, but nothing more than that. As Tyler Buzka able to fall forward for what ultimately looks like a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 8 upcoming for the Panthers.
Well played by Gateway. You see on the replay, they don't bite on the fake. They stay home, see that it was handed off to Buzka. A couple Gators right there for him to take him down.
Connor Donnelly, the starting quarterback for Franklin Regional. He was a part of a 4-man contest to solidify that job. Panthers used a rotation for much of the early season, and they settle on Donnelly, who has stood out thus far this season. We'll see if he goes to the air here on 2nd and long. They'll keep it on the ground. This one blown up, getting into the backfield quickly. Jameer Harbor. Oh man, what a hit there. Harbor getting to the backfield and blew that play up before it even got started.
Taking another look at it, you see Harbor on the edge there for Gateway. Just gets through unblocked. I mean, you got 3 guys there that were basically unblocked. See 75 as well for Gateway. Unblocked as well. Christopher Horton. Bad play by Franklin Regional all around. Just like you said, that play was blown up before it even started.
So it'll be 3rd and long, 12 specifically after the loss of 4. They'll go to the air here. They'll flip that one out for a screen pass. That one's dropped. And so 4th and long around midfield. Ultimately, the punt team will come out as the drive stalls for the Panthers. So crisis averted for the Gators after turning the ball over on their first possession.
Yeah, not much doing for Franklin Regional. You see that one just past the outstretched hands of Tyler Buzka. And Buzka, I think, at least for Donnelly, he wants him to kind of move forward with that. Don't stay far back, kind of leading him towards the sidelines. But instead, Buzka was a little bit far back and could not hold on to it.
So it'll be Brett Birch back to return this one. Low snap. Kick is blocked. High and angling up in the air. And it's taken by one of the big men around the 50-yard line. And a Gator came up, got it, moved the ball forward a few yards. That's Aiden Smith. That might be the first time we've seen him touch the ball all season long. He's able to return the ball a few yards forward after the block. And so once again, for the 2nd time tonight in as many drives, the Gators will start their offensive possession in Panthers territory.
Well, we talked about the past couple of plays, even on the screen pass where it's delayed and where the line is supposed to go forward anyway. Franklin Regional's been struggling just to keep Gateway out of their own backfield. And you see there the deflection from the punt for Gateway in favor for the Gators, and they're starting out right at midfield. Great position for Gateway.
So that's where they will go to work. 3 receivers set. Reynolds, the sidecar once again. They'll hand it off to him. Reynolds, after gaining 12 in the first, has a little tougher of sledding at first, but he's able to bust this one out wide, and he'll get dragged down in the red zone. So it initially looked like nothing up the gut. Reynolds, great vision for the sophomore, able to get that one to the outside, puts on the burners, and that one is going to be a gain of over 30 yards.
Exactly what I was going to say, Vince. You talk about the vision for Reynolds. You see there's nothing in the middle. Bounce outside. He has so much vision looking downfield. Nice stiff arm. Taking Garrett Deller off of him and able to bounce it out to the sidelines for a nice gain.
So ball right around the 20-yard line. And they'll hand it off to Reynolds again. He's swallowed up before he gets anywhere. He might have gotten a yard there, but it looks like it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Nice tackle for Franklin Regional there. When you play on the line, you know, once that guy gets to you, you disengage from the blockers. He went for the legs. A player for Franklin Regional couldn't see exactly who it was, but still a nice play to stop Reynolds, who has been running all over them. So maybe that's a bit of a boost for Franklin Regional here, trying to stop Gateway.
Birch now back to pass. He's pressured once again. Holds on to the ball this time. Tries to scan his options downfield. Eventually is pushed out of bounds, so he'll lose around 5 yards. He's back around the 24, 25-yard line. And so it'll be another 3rd and long upcoming for the Gators.
Yeah, you see Franklin Regional getting in there, and I think it was 54, I believe, for the Panthers. Andrew DeVol, the freshman, you see him going in, got his big hands up, but instead you want to just go right after him. You got to go after him. Don't let him. If he deflects it, that's fine, but it's not a play where he can either run or pass. It's a play where he's basically only passing, so you just go after him, make him roll out instead if you miss him in order to stop him in the backfield.
So here's the 3rd and long play, obvious pass play. They'll pass it over the middle. That one connected to the steady number 13, Dallas Harper. And so Harper able to drive that one down. And see here if the Gators want to go with 4-down territory or if they'll bring out the kicking team. Looks like the offense will stay on momentarily. It is about 4th and 4, 4th and 3 technically. The ball just inside the 15, and there it looks like they got the defense to jump. Not sure if there was any movement by the Gators. We'll wait for the officials to make the call, and we'll see what happens. Could be a big 1st down for the Gators. And it is. An encroachment penalty for the Panthers. Gators do a good job of drawing the Panthers offside on 4th and 3, so they'll get 5 yards, enough for the 1st down. And now the ball inside the 10-yard line. They're at the 8-yard line, 1st and goal.
The entire defensive line fell for that one.
Screen to Dallas Harper. Can he get the edge? He does, but he's swallowed up inside the 5-yard line. Looks like he's down at about the 2 or the 3. So a good gain of 5 there on 1st and goal. Harper now with his 2nd catch on the season. He had 18 receptions coming into this one, 229 yards and 6 touchdowns, one of the leaders for the Gators on the season. So 2nd and goal from the 2. Birch will hand it off to Reynolds. Reynolds, nowhere to go there. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but a good job there. The Franklin Regional front 7, they've gotten some good push here early in this one, and not a whole lot of easy going. A couple big runs from Reynolds, but also a couple that have been stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Hey, you see number 6, Roman Sarnick gets there, and 57, Owen Sinclair, 2nd man on him. And like you said, kind of crashing that middle. You know that Reynolds is going to go into the middle there, especially on the 2nd down.
So a loss of 2 there, 3rd and 4. They're going to go to the corner of the end zone. Brett Birch in the back. Did he make the catch? Did his feet get in? No. They're going to say that he was out of bounds. A good adjustment there. A good job coming down with the ball. But he ran out of blue turf there in the end zone, and we'll take another look on the replay.
And you see the fade route, and it's a very well thrown ball. That ball is only going to go to number 7. It's away from the defender, and did he get that foot in? I don't think he did. I think it was
close.
A good call from the referees. But like I said, though, that's how you want to throw that ball, though, in the corner of the end zone, back of the end zone, where only he can make that grab.
And so, once again, another crucial 4th down here. See what the Gators will do. Will they try and run a play here, or will they try and just draw Offsides once again. They'll run it. The option play. They'll hand it off to Reynolds. Reynolds, does he have enough? He keeps his feet moving, and he's into the end zone. Reynolds with the second effort. And the first points for the evening go to the Gators. They're on the board, 6-0.
Yeah, you see the second effort from Reynolds. Take another look at it. Give it to him on the option. And a guy there, it was 6 again, just was not able to hold on to him. Roman Sarnik. Reynolds did a nice move, cutting back to his right. Scoring a touchdown for Gateway.
Plaskin's PAT is up and good. He has been excellent on the season. And so 7-0. The Gators overcome the early turnover. They get a stop. They block the punt. And then they come down the field methodically. A mix of run and a couple passes to Dallas Harper. And Reynolds there capitalizing and punctuating that drive with the 4-yard touchdown run. Gators looking to take a step forward to be one of the top 4 teams in 5A to get a bye. Which the bad news of that means we wouldn't be with you next week broadcasting a Gateway Gators football team, but it'd be an opportunity for them to get just a little more healthy, get a little more game prep in the books. You look at potential opponents. We'll have score updates throughout the evening. 11 of 12 seeds have been locked up in 5A. Just 1 seed left remaining up for grabs in the Allegheny 6 Conference between Peters Township, West Allegheny, and South Fayette. 2 of those teams, Peters and South Fayette, playing each other tonight. West Allegheny has Moon. But you look at North Hills, Penn Hills, Bethel Park, all opponents that are possible matchups in that quarterfinals if the Gators do end up with the bye. Plaskin once again kicking this one out of bounds. It's something he's had an issue with over the past several weeks. He's going to get an earful as he heads over to the sidelines because this continues to be a chronic issue for the Gators that has allowed other teams to capitalize on better field position after scoring drives.
Yeah, that's a huge issue for Plaskin. You see him with his right foot. He's on the near hash and just went out pretty well, actually, on the 20-25 yard out of bounds. So didn't even get much on it, unfortunately, for Plaskin as well. Just, again, it's so interesting to me to see a ball go out of the go out of bounds because for a kickoff, you just need to send it straight forward. You're not expecting, you don't need to place it perfectly anywhere. Just get it down the field as far as you can. Unfortunately, Plaskin was not able to do that there.
Now potentially an equipment issue of some sort as a player for Franklin Regional sent off of the field, now replaced. It looks like Caden Smith had to come off, and so in his place, coming out onto the field is Heath Sliva. So the freshman checks in on this first down play where the Panthers will take over at the 35-yard line. It's a decent field position to start. Now they have to reorient things. The ball was placed on the right hash. Now they'll place it in the middle of the field after the kickoff out of bounds. And we'll resume play here. We're about halfway through our first quarter. Gateway up 7-0 thanks to a 4-yard Jaquan Reynolds touchdown. This is the second possession for the Panthers. They'll start in the gun. It'll be a pass play. They got a man over the top, but that ball was intended for the target underneath. Looks like they were trying to get to Roman Sarnik, but they had a man open over the top there. As a busted coverage could have been fatal for the defensive unit on this drive, but Gators catch a break.
And I have to wonder who was in the fault there, I should say, for Franklin Regional. Was it that wide receiver who, seeing that coverage, breaking out, making his own route, or was it the quarterback not understanding what the route was for Franklin Regional?
Either way, a big break for the Gators. No harm, no foul. Second down, 10 at the 35-yard line. Once again, Panthers in the gun. Snap is fumbled. Ball is still loose. And the Gators look as if they've come up with it. Waiting for official signal, and they have. Jameer Harbor falls on the ball, and so the second turnover of the night. This one, the Gators recover. They fumbled on their first possession, now on the Panthers' second. You see, they just never really had a good handle on it there, Spencer.
Yeah, not a bad snap. I mean, it went right about his waist, but like you said, Gateway and Franklin Regional both have just been struggling to hold on to the ball, and errant fumbles, I should say, from plays that never really even developed. You saw for Gateway, and you see here for Franklin Regional as well. So someone's got to put down that ball before every play, it seems like almost. No rain right now, I don't think, but something's going on out there.
So the offense returns to the field, though, the ball at about the 30-yard line. Now a little trickeration. They'll hand this one off to Birch. Birch able to get to the outside. Makes a nice little move, and he'll get down to about the 25-yard line. So a gain of 5, but some flags came in, and it looks like this will be a block in the back. I think that Matthew Brooks might have found the wrong side of a jersey on a block, and so this one will likely be coming back.
I think you're right, too. You said it was a reverse play, and that's always so difficult. When it is a reverse, you see guys go from right to left, and if he beats you, you're trying to get that block because there's so much room that they have to make up on a reverse. Unfortunately for Gateway, not able to do anything with that. Unfortunate penalty as you take another look at it. Yeah, you see 55 right there, yep. Just as you thought, Vince, that was just in the back because defender had him beat and he was just trying to do his best to keep him away, but unfortunately, it called for a penalty.
So it'll be first down and much longer this time, and Birch is going to lose the ball again. And the Panthers come up with this one at the 40-yard line of the Gators, and they're going to have excellent field position on the third fumble of the night. And Spencer, we talked about it. It's not raining out there. It is colder than we've had most of the games this season, but for some reason, neither of these teams can hold on to the ball.
Yeah, and chalk this one up to just a good strip sack here. Take another look at it. You see that's 57 getting his arm on Birch for Franklin Regional. Owen Sinclair was able to strip the ball, and once Franklin Regional recovers it, still 7-0 game, but Franklin Regional, again, they give them a lot of credit so far. I think other than Gateway having a couple fourth downs where they had to improve or get themselves the first down, Franklin Regional's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, the Gators took over. It looked like they were on the fast track to building a 2-score lead, but a penalty and a turnover now puts Franklin Regional in the driver's seat to try and tie this one up. They get the ball at the 40-yard line to start the drive, and a gain of about 2 there. As that one pitched quickly to Zach Buska. Both of the Buska brothers have been big factors in the backfield for the Panthers this season.
And you see from Gateway, well played by the Gators, front line especially. Everybody going crashing to the left after seeing that pitch to Buska. Did not give him any room to work with on the near side of the field.
Zach has 5 touchdowns on the season, averages 7 yards a carry. His brother has 350 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. A nice little burst there, as the run between the tackles will net about 4 or 5 yards there, which will set up a 3rd and 4 situation. Another nice carry there by Zach Buska, the 5'7" junior.
See Buska again on the handoff for him, getting past that front line, getting into the secondary. Nice run for Franklin Regional.
So 3rd and manageable here for the Panthers. See what they dial up. Gators showing blitz, now backing off. Play gets adjusted. Play clock winds down to 13. Hayden Smith now in on the blitz, and a big hit there in the backfield, and coming through, knifing through, is Demetrius Harper. We've seen that all season long. Harper from the defensive end position getting a great jump there. He blew that play up.
And even in this whole game so far, the first couple of series that Franklin Regional has had, Gateway's been able to jump this snap perfectly. You see it here again. Demetrius Harper recognizing when to go. Taking a look right there. Good jump. Nobody blocks him. Nothing that the running back Buska could do for the Panthers.
So it looks like the punt unit will come on at the 35-yard line for Franklin Regional. I think the Gators caught a little off guard by that. They don't have a return man back now. Patrick Body, the star receiver, going to head back toward the end zone. And he'll get this punt off. Body will track it down and fall down inside the 5-yard line. And so another blunder for the Gators. You don't get your return unit out there, so you have someone who hasn't fielded punt returns since last season, did Patrick Body, and so he goes back. He loses his footing, and now the Gators have the ball at the 3-yard line with 97 yards to go to pay dirt.
That's a nice punt for Franklin Regional, but when you're back within your own 5-yard line, you got to let that bounce. Let that go. Worst case scenario, it bounces out for the 3-yard line. Best case scenario goes out. But the same case scenario that you'll never have that option is if you field it at your own 3-yard line with Franklin Regional players screaming at you in the corner of the field.
So a long field to go now for the Gators. As Birch standing in his own end zone, he'll get this snap and he'll fake the handoff. They'll throw across the middle. And that one a little bit behind the intended receiver. They were looking for Dallas Harper once again, but that one off the mark.
Looks like that helped actually. Gateway is the back judge there. You saw the referee in the way for 16. Take another look. Wasn't able to cut up and try and intercept that ball. Instead, a little bit of help from the men in stripes for Gateway. I don't know if he would have been able to jump it, but still not even able to get that option.
And so now they will hand it off to Reynolds, and he is stuffed in the backfield. He's going to lose yardage there as a big-time hit knifing through is Sarnick. And the 6-foot, 175-pound junior laid the boom there.
Yeah, and Sarnick finally put some stickum on his hands here. He's able to hold on to Reynolds. It's a very well played hit. Textbook tackle for Sarnick, who had a couple times where he was not able to tackle Reynolds.
3rd and 12 in the shadow of their own end zone. They're going to go deep over the top looking for Harper. This one intercepted. And so the Panthers once again will go to work with excellent field position. And you know, Spencer, we didn't talk about it. We didn't have enough time to really touch on it, but we did talk about, does this have the feeling of a trap game with the Gators coming off a couple big wins? You clinch the playoff spot. You don't really feel super confident that Penn Trafford's going to lose to Latrobe, and so, you know, are the Gators emotionally and mentally invested in this one early?
I think so. I mean, Franklin Regional senior night, you know, this is a game that Franklin Regional wants to win more than Gateway in the sense of what you need to win in order to go into the playoffs. Real quick, though, on that throw, you need to have that over the top. That needs to be deeper because he's double covered already to start, so you need that ball farther for Gateway.
1st and 10. They're going to try to throw this one out wide after the turnover. That one looking for Maddox Morrison. And Donnelly will overthrow the 5'10" senior. And so seeing blunders out of the Gators we haven't seen the past few weeks.
And you see Donnelly there on that throw. He's got to let that play develop just a little bit more. Half a second more, let him get over towards the sideline, and then you make that throw. That's a textbook throw, perfect throw. If you just hesitate maybe a half a second longer and let him break away from his defender.
Gators have been incredibly stout defensively here. We'll see if they can get another stop. Jameer Harbor again getting back into the backfield rather. Carson Engelke joins him there as a trio of defenders, including Matthew Brooks as well. And Remy Bowe's also in there. So ends up being 4 different Gators getting their helmets on the ball carrier and bringing him down in the backfield.
First guy to get there, number 5, like you mentioned, Jameer Harbor, who, again, on the rush from the outside, was able to just wait, hesitate, waiting for that running back to get right to him. Nothing that Franklin Regional could do. Well played by number 5, Jameer Harbor.
So 3rd and long, no stranger to either of these teams here early. What's been a defensive battle here. They try to set up the screen. That one well overthrown. And so once again, it'll be 4th down at about the 35-yard line, and decision time once again for the Panthers. It looks like they will bring out the punt unit once again. And once again, no return man back initially for the Gators. Figure this time they might just leave it go after Body fell down with the ball at the 3-yard line. See if they can get a block on this one. This one will trail down inside the 5. It'll take an excellent bounce. And the Panthers got to it, but the player went into the end zone. And now we have some pushing and shoving behind the play as we have Carson Engelke, it looks like, getting tied up with Zach Buska. So a flag will come out. We'll see who the guilty party after that altercation was. But as it stands right now, it's a touchback on the punt.
And that's a result from the play before. I think Buska was down on the ground. Someone was over top of him. I don't know if it was Engelke on the last play on 3rd down. And I think that's just a little bit of retaliation, a little bit of frustration for both these teams. Just trying to get the edge, trying to get a chip over the other team. I guess you could call so far a little sloppy game between the two. So if you can get that momentum, get that edge, try and clean some things up. Potential to move forward with it and capitalize on some more mistakes.
So we'll see if we can see the foul. You see Buska
taken down again. There it is right there. That's Buska down on the field again on the bottom of your screen, and I think that's just what he's frustrated about. The question is, be able to just tackle a man right in the backfield like that, or is it attributed to just frustration from both Gateway and Franklin Regional?
So, nevertheless, it is a foul against the Gators. It'll back them up to the 10-yard line, half the distance to the goal penalty, and so once again, 90 yards plus to go. Jaquan Reynolds going to try and put a dent in that here early. He gets out towards the sticks. Looks like a gain of about 9 there on the first down run, and Reynolds continues to be a bright spot for the Gators thus far here tonight.
Reynolds has done a good job, especially on the outside. When he bounces out, it seems like he has more open space and open field to cut up. It's a nice move right there, getting around his own teammate and cutting back upfield for a good gain.
2nd and 2. They'll hand it to Reynolds once again. He falls forward. That'll be enough for the first down. Needed 2. Looks like he got about 4. And so that will move the chains as they get the ball up to the 22-yard line.
That's running off tackle on the right side. Exactly what Gateway needed there. Just a couple of yards. Reynolds falling forward. Got the first down.
Reynolds with the lone score in this game, the 4-yard scamper earlier in this first quarter. Now they're going to take a shot downfield. They have a man, and that ball is overthrown. Looking for that far side of the field to Remy Bose, and that one just a bit too far for the 6-foot receiver.
I know that ball is overthrown by Birch, but that's a better throw than we saw from the interception prior in a couple plays ago. This ball is overthrown, but it's the only player that is able to get to that one is his wide receiver. Unfortunately, just a bit too long.
So now 2nd and 10. Birch going to pull this one down. He will run forward. Birch has done a better job recently running the football. 253 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. His throwing statistics, he's now completing 63% of passes. He passed the 2,000 mark last week with 2,072 yards, 23 touchdowns, but threw his 10th interception tonight. So he is now tied for first with interceptions thrown in 5A, though he is 3rd in attempts thrown on the season. And so the short gain will bring up 3rd and 8, but with the play clock winding down, that will be the end of our first quarter. You're tuned into Gateway Football on YouTube and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Our score after 1 quarter, Gateway 7, Franklin Regional 0. It was Jaquan Reynolds on the Gators' 2nd drive of the game, a 4-yard touchdown run, the PAT up and good. And it's a chilly 51 here tonight. Wind is blowing in. We've seen that be a factor here. The sun has long set here. So starting to finally feel like October. We had some unseasonably warm weather late into the season, but now the cold in full effect. And Spencer, I think we've seen that be a factor with that ball security in the first quarter.
Yeah, we talked about it before. I mean, it rained all day this morning and afternoon, but shouldn't have too much of the effect on the ball. But that field is going to be a little slick. But real quick, just want to say it's nice to see for Franklin Regional and both Gateway, their senior night, the rain was able to hold off. It's not the rain that we saw earlier this afternoon. Always a good thing to see. You never want to have rain on your senior day when you're supposed to be honoring the class of 2022. So good to see it as well, and good to see just for football in general.
They're firing hot dogs. One just fell right in front of us here. As we got told before the game, it was a middle school project to create a hot dog launcher. It's an annual tradition here at Franklin Regional. And so if you see something fly across your screen, not a bird, a hot dog.
One of them went over the press box earlier. They were telling us before, they said some of them might actually go over the press box, and I kind of thought that was a little bit of exaggeration, but no, he's not kidding. That's way over the press box.
So we'll resume play here. 2nd quarter starts. Birch back to throw. He's sacked in the backfield, tried to evade the oncoming tackler and was unable. Brent Hickey, the 5'9" freshman, got himself into the backfield in a hurry, and that's going to end that drive for the Gators, as it will be 4th and long, deep in their own territory. The punt team comes out.
Yeah, you see Franklin Regional here have a man in motion. crashing through 70s, just able to get him. Hold on to Birch actually lost the ball for a half a second. Fell out of his hands. He collected it himself, though, but got to hold on to that ball. Both of these teams, a bizarre one when it comes to that.
So Cole Plaskin now back to punt. And the snap is up over his head. We've seen this a number of times, and he'll just kick it out of the back of the end zone, which is about the smartest play you can make at that point. And so that will be a safety. Franklin Regional now on the board, and Carson Engelke has had issues with that here this season. The long snapper snapping the ball toward their own end zone.
Yeah, but a flag on the play as you take another look from the snap. Just about a foot, 2 feet too high for 46. Question is, are you allowed to kick that one out of the end zone like that? I think you have to at least make a more of a play for it, right? I don't think technically it's legal for Cole Plaskin, but we'll see what the call is.
So we will see what happens there. As this has been an interesting contest to start. Turnovers galore, miscues by both teams, neither playing super efficient. Take a look once again at the replay.
And you see Plaskin, of course, what he's doing is that he's sending it out instead of Franklin Regional recovering it. Even if he's the first one to get there, he knows that he can send it back out of play. And instead of 6 points, it would be 2 points. But again, the referee's talking this over for a while.
So it is a safety. So 2 points on the board for the Falcons, and now the Gators will have to kick it off once again deep in their own territory. As the Panthers looking for the upset here, they come off of a 49-7 loss rather to Penn Trafford last week. The Gators took care of business against Connellsville 55-0 in the rain last week, but it has been tough sledding for the Gators here thus far in this one. Just a disjointed effort. We'll see if they can right the ship here, starting with a defensive stand here against the Panthers, who are down now just 5.
We talked about it, though, prior to this, graduating almost all of their impactful skill position players from a year ago. Started out the season 1-4, have split their last 4 games. So, this team especially has really improved over the second half of this season. Franklin Regional just kind of gelling together a little bit better. It's games like this, we talked about it, give the Panthers some credit. Franklin Regional is doing a decent job pressuring Gateway a lot. This is not the best Gateway football we have seen this year. But they have plenty of time to fix some stuff here in this last game of the season.
So the kick lands ultimately at the 30-yard line, and a decent return there up to about midfield. And the Panthers will be knocking on the door to get into enemy territory to start their offensive possession. And the Gators defense has its work cut out for them, but they have been up to the task so far tonight. They'll have to do it once again here to avoid giving up the lead.
Yeah, and I think Gateway, especially, this is going to be a big drive for both Franklin Regional and Gateway. Franklin Regional really needs to capitalize off of this safety and at the very least, move the ball down the field a little bit. Get yourself 20, 30 yards. If you don't score a touchdown here, yeah, it's one thing. You're still only down 5 points, but you need to show that this offense is capable of getting past Gateway.
Talked about it again. Both of these teams will go to the playoffs. Pairings will be announced tomorrow night, a little earlier than usual. Usually it's Monday evening, so a couple extra days to prepare for these teams. We'll find out where they're headed, who they're playing. But first, we got to finish the regular season. A long throw downfield here. That one just a little underthrown as the Panthers look to capitalize. Try to go for the big play there, but the pass just a bit short, looking for the 6'4 senior, Caden Smith.
Yeah, one-on-one coverage for Caden Smith, and that ball is thrown to the right shoulder for him. Not a bad throw from Franklin Regional, but still a little bit too far for the Panthers. He's taking another look from Donnelly, excuse me. Had him by a step. He had number 8 by a step, and that's Jordan, but a little underthrown from Donnelly.
So once again, 2nd and 10, 11:02 left here in the second quarter. And again, Donnelly will operate out of the gun. He'll have a 4-receiver set. Rolls, looks, going to throw this one toward the sidelines. Was looking for Smith again. Body in coverage, and He's able to apply enough pressure. That throw a little bit outside. Smith can't come up with it, so now it'll be 3rd and 10.
That's well covered by Patrick Body Jr. You see the cutback from the receiver. He stays with him, gets his hand on it, even though still a very uncatchable ball, very tough one. Is able to cover him like a glove. Taking a look, I mean, he was all over him, not letting him get any separation for an accurate throw that would have been caught. But good job from Gateway's defense so far in this game.
See if the Gators can get one more stop here, force another punt after giving up the safety. 7-2 our score. Gators out in front. Ball still at the 49-yard line for Franklin Regional. Again out of the gun, Donnelly bobbles the snap. He's going to go deep once again, looking for Smith, but that one's going to be laid up. Body's going to shake off Smith, and look out, folks. One of the most dynamic playmakers in all of 5A has the ball, makes a few miss, and he gets tripped up right around midfield. A heady play there by Roman Sarnik to take down the Cincinnati recruit, as Body had a whole head of steam going ahead there.
We'll take a look from Donnelly. This is just a big miscommunication. I mean, 26 is nowhere near that ball. I don't know where that ball's supposed to be thrown or where the receiver's supposed to be, but look at Patrick Body Jr. Watch him fly through all of these defenders, or I guess say offensive players for Franklin Regional, and the shoestring tackle from Donnelly, that was the last man. He had one more man who had a blocker with him. If Donnelly doesn't make that tackle, I think Body Jr. is probably going to be gone.
And so now it's the Gators who have the ball near midfield as the turnovers just keep piling up in this one. See if the Gators can start to build a little separation in this one. They'll go to work at the 47-yard line. They'll hand it off to Reynolds. Reynolds is swallowed up in the backfield. It looks like he's going to lose about 3 yards there. See some scores at the bottom of your screen as all the playoff implications across all 6 classifications. Another look at Reynolds' run there. Not much going. So 2nd and 12, they'll hand it to Reynolds once again. He has to shake off a couple defenders, but now puts his head down, bowls over a defender, and gets up close to the 45-yard line of Franklin Regional. A decent gain there will bring up about 3rd and 4, so make that a gain of about 8.
And Jaquan Reynolds is really helping Gateway when it comes to the rushing, able to get by these first defenders, and really the second effort from him is getting positive yardage.
They go back to him on 3rd down there. He's swallowed up in the backfield, and so Reynolds has had a couple big breaks, but the Gators have not been able to open holes for him consistently, and so now decision-making time. 4th down and 5 at the 48-yard line, and it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field. See if Birch pooch punts this. We've seen him do that numerous times this season, but as he backs up just a little bit, and he will. And a nice punt there. Birch going to put this one down inside the 10, but that's going to roll through the back of the end zone, and a touchback. So Gators unable to capitalize on the decent field position, and the Panthers will take over at the 20-yard line, down just 5 points here 15 minutes in against the Gators. And let's look at their schedule thus far this season. Twice as many W's as L's there on the season. They have tough losses against Thomas Jefferson. They're defending 4A state champion. They're defending 5A state champs here. Pine Richland now number 3 in the Trib Live High School sports rankings, and that tough, heartbreaking loss against Penn Trafford. And 2 of those 3 losses, both against the Jaguars and the Warriors, Gators had the ball going down the field and saw drives stall out. And last week we saw a big win over Connellsville. See if they can end the season here with a record of 7-3. Quick throw out. Swallowed up there is Brett Fickle. He's not going to get going anywhere fast. Good coverage there by the Gators.
And you see from Gateway, a little blitz from the linebackers, and 44 is just immediately met by 24 for Gateway. That was Elijah Heller. Again, Franklin Regional just really can't get their offense going right now. Give Gateway a lot of credit.
So 2nd down and 10 once again. As Franklin Regional struggled to pick up any yardage on first down. Now a throw out into the flats. That one well short. Now flag is down in the backfield. Not sure if someone got a jump or if there was holding. We'll see this get sorted out here, and we'll get the call.
I think this one's going to go against Gateway. I think someone did jump prior to the snap. Oh, correction. Yeah, correct. It's actually going to go against Franklin Regional. My apologies. I was looking at the ref was looking at the wrong side. I was thinking for some reason that he was looking at Franklin Regionals.
It appeared someone might have still been in motion when the ball was snapped.
I think that's exactly what the call was. Illegal motion for Franklin Regional. Again, when you have a lot of those players on the line jumping and getting them to force them to move, get out of that rhythm a little bit, and that one is one of the reasons for the illegal motion.
So instead of 2nd and long, they'll decline the penalty, make it 3rd down and 10. Franklin Regional going to pump fake one way, try to go the other, but the Gators defense not fooled one bit as a trio of defenders, Bose, Harper, and Matthew Brooks all in on the tackle there. It's 4th down. The punt team will come back on.
And these checkdowns for Franklin Regional just really aren't working. I think this 2 out of the past 3 plays have been throws to the running back about 3 yards up the field, if that, and they're not really working. Gateway is all over it. You got to spread the field out a little bit. You got to throw the ball slant, something else to generate a little bit more offense, so then you can have the players stay a little bit back, so that way that checkdown will be more effective.
Brett Fickles already had 1 kick block tonight. He stands at his own 5-yard line, and that one very nearly tipped as well. This one going to get past Brett Birch, and he's just going to let it take a very, very fortunate bounce for Franklin Regional, as the Gators will once again, though, start with decent field position. They'll have the ball at their own 40-yard line with about 7.5 minutes left here in our first half of play. Just 7-2 our score. As we look at Franklin Regional's schedule, started out with a big win over the Plum Mustangs, then a couple close defeats at the hands of Kiski area and Hempfield. 2 more losses after that to Fox Chapel and Bethel Park. And as you said, Spencer, they've kind of righted the ship with 2 wins in their past 4 games, including that thrilling end to the Latrobe game with a hook and ladder play to score a touchdown late in that one. They were down 26 points, came back, and that was the game that ultimately would help them gain that playoff spot. Pass across the middle of the field to Brett Birch, and a gain of 15 on first down. It was one of the few sparks through the passing game we've seen here. The first completion to a receiver not named Dallas Harper. And so a good pass there and a good completion, brother to brother.
Yeah, play action. You see that slant down the middle. Like you said, brother to brother, finding the openings in the secondary, making the catch.
Now they'll dump this one off for Patrick Body, and now he drops the ball. Juggled that one, saw it go through his hands, so Body, the leading receiver in yardage in 5A, unable to come up with that one, and so it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line of Franklin Regional.
You see on the replay, just out of the hands, looking upfield before he even caught that ball. Body was, that's the reason why he was not able to hold on to it.
So ball on the right hash, 2nd down and 10. They'll hand this one off to Reynolds, and Reynolds able to make the first would-be tackler miss. He dances around a few others, and a whole heck of a lot of effort to gain 1 yard there, as there were a bunch of Panthers in the backfield. They've done a good job in run defense for the most part this evening.
Yeah, it's with their, like I said, with the exceptions of those second efforts, Franklin Regional really has stifled the run game for Gateway.
And so 3rd and long upcoming once again for the Gators. What looks like it will be a passing situation. Birch with 3 receivers. He'll fake the handoff to Reynolds. He's going to send this one out wide to the flats. And Birch goes backwards before forwards, but gains some decent yards after the catch. He's still going inside the 15. He's stiff-arming guys off him and down toward the 10-yard line. A big gain there on 3rd and long. Birch goes to his older brother, and the senior able to get a big chunk of yardage after the catch to set up 1st down and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Well, good route for Birch first off when he makes this catch, and then watch when he sees one player, he cuts back, sees 57 cutting to him as well, so he cuts back and then pushes himself upfield for extra yardage.
Quickly back into it there, 1st down run. As Birch kept it on that one, gained about 2 yards. And they'll quickly get back to the line here with the ball inside the 15-yard line, looking to build on this 7-2 lead. As last time they got it down to this area of the field, Reynolds finished the job from 4 yards out. We'll see if they go his way again or if they take to the air. Reynolds to Birch's right. He'll get the snap, fake the handoff. Now he'll go across the middle, and it's into the arms of Dallas Harper. And his 7th touchdown of the season will extend this lead 13-2 now. The Gators are on top.
Exactly how you want to execute that one. It's a slant one-on-one coverage on the outside. Harper cuts in, has the defender back behind him. He's expecting either the corner of the end zone on a fade, or he's expecting some help underneath. There's nothing there. You see the slant perfectly played and perfectly thrown from Birch.
And so Plaskin good again. Second touchdown on the evening opens this one up, gives a little more breathing room for the Gators as they now lead 14-2. Gators locked into the playoffs for the 19th time in 20 seasons. And take another look.
Yeah, I just want to say again, that's awareness from Birch, especially recognizing the one-on-one coverage on the outside, seeing the seam that he had to cut in and have a lot of, or plenty of space in that end zone, a lot of area in blue that he was able to cut back in. There was really no defenders on him except for that man over the top, and you have a slant route back in, underneath, no help. Almost a touchdown every time as long as you put that on target.
So again, that's Harper's 7th touchdown on the season. And he has only touched the ball about 21 times this year. So 1 out of every 3 times. For much of the season, it was 1 out of every 2. He's lost the pace just a little bit, but Harper, for a guy who hasn't touched the ball all that much in the grand scheme of this offense, he sure has made the most of the opportunities he has gotten. Plaskin with a much better kick this time, inbounds, gets corralled at the 12-yard line, and now the ball carrier will get drugged down just past the 20-yard line. Looks like the Panthers will start this drive at the 24-yard line. So as we were saying, Gators in the playoffs for the 19th time in 20 years, their 35th overall appearance, looking for their 6th straight semifinal appearance. 5A's wide open this year. It's going to be real interesting to see who's left standing. You get the feeling this year after you see only one team, Moon, undefeated, and you got 2 losses at number 2. You got 4 losses at number 3. Gateway with 3 losses on the season. Penn Hills with 3 losses at number 5. I mean, you talk about Kiski almost upsetting Pine Richland last week. It's going to be an incredibly interesting tournament this year. So Eden Smith in the backfield once again. They time the blitz well, and a slew of Gators get to the quarterback, and Donnelly goes down back inside the 20. That's going to be a loss of over 10 yards on first down.
We see Gateway in the backfield before half the linemen are even able to get up. I think Franklin Regional's got to change the snap count or something to try and fool Gateway a little bit more. Take another look. You got 2 guys who are jumping that snap immediately, and one of them was the one who got to the quarterback, 43 for Gateway.
Remy Bowes with a great play there, and so it is now 2nd and 18. And it looks like a jump there on the line. So Franklin Regional is going to make things even worse on themselves with the false start penalty. So the ball back to the 10-yard line. They've got to get to the 34. So that'll make it 2nd and 24 now. See what the Panthers dial up here. They fake the screen. Now Donnelly running for his life, tries to throw that one out to Smith, but he was pressured and brought down by Remy Bowes, but not before he was able to get rid of that one.
Again, nothing that Franklin Regional can do. Give Gateway a lot of credit again. They're in the backfield. They're not letting Donnelly get comfortable at all. He has to throw it to a check down, and just nothing Franklin Regional can do right now. It seems like it's just all Gateway all over them on the offensive side, or on the side of their own field for Franklin Regional.
Panthers' only points came off of a special teams blunder on a bad snap that went over the head of the punter Plaskin. Otherwise, the defense for the Gators has been unstoppable. There, a drop as they had the screen pass set up, but it goes through the hands of Maddox Morrison, and now the punt team will come out with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left from their own 10-yard line, and the Gators look like they'll get great field position to start once again.
And that's unfortunate for Franklin Regional. I think that was probably their best played screen we've seen. We've seen them try to do it a couple times to no avail, and that one off the hands, I think he breaks for at least 15 yards if he's able to hold on to that. He had a lot of blockers ahead of him.
And a lot of green as well. That's a good point. But instead, it'll be a punt, and this snap is high, and they just get it off, but it's a very short punt, and Birch had to go down to his knees to pick it up, and so no worse for the wear. Birch will get it at the 35-yard line, and with that knee down, that's where the Gators will start as they very nearly block another punt. But good field position upcoming for the Gators. Take a look here at the top five. Moon taking on West Allegheny tonight, looking for that perfect season. Penn Trafford taking on Latrobe, trying to solidify the Big East. As Moon will win the Allegheny 6, Penn Trafford in all likelihood will take home the Big East. And then Pine Richland and Penn Hills at number 5. They and North Hills are all tied for the Northeast Conference lead at 3-1. So still some things to be sorted out there tonight. The Gators sitting there at number 4, which would get them a bye if the selection committee keeps them in that top 4. They'll go to work here to continue to build that resume as Birch is going to keep this. He has a couple blockers on the outside, tries to keep his feet in bounds and is able to move himself forward. And a great second effort will get him inside the 30-yard line. And that is about as hard as you'll see someone work for a gain of 5 yards.
See on the replay, Birch immediately going to his right. On the looking for the screen. I just don't think he wanted to throw it out there, so instead he takes it himself. Not sure if that was designed or not, but got himself 5 yards after what should have been 2 at best.
Birch gets pushed there by Owen Sinclair as he was looking to get rid of that one, so the pass falls to the turf harmlessly. Good pressure once again by the Panthers there, and so once again it's 3rd down upcoming for the Gators.
And it's pressure there you saw for Franklin Regional getting into the backfield. Jaquan Reynolds was just able to hold him off just long enough, but still a little bit of contact forcing that errant pass.
3rd and 5. They'll get it out wide. It's Jordan. Jordan with a lot of room to go. No one's going to bring him down, and he very nearly got into the end zone, but was tripped up inside the 5-yard line. Looks like he's down to the 1. And so a goal to go situation for the Gators once again. That is a great run after the catch there by Inez Jordan.
And you take a look at zone defense for Franklin Regional, so nobody playing up on number 8, Inez Jordan, and he had some blockers in front of him. Was able to just get to the 1-yard line. Thought he could get that one in, but was just hauled down. You've seen the second efforts from Gateway been successful, but that time just not able to get into the end zone.
And a good thing that he was down because he fumbled at the end of that one, which could have very nearly been a turnover on a touchback. Instead, it's Jaquan Reynolds. He's into the end zone once again. And so tonight he has touchdowns 7 and 8, and the sophomore continues to impress as he builds the Gateway lead up to 20-2 now with 2:49 left in the first half.
That offensive line pushing Franklin Regional back a couple yards. Give them a lot of credit. Trenches are successful for Gateway, and Reynolds almost untouched for those couple of yards. There's no holder for Gateway. I don't know what was going on there.
Just 3 seconds now to snap it. They'll get it down in time. Plaskin able to get this one up and through. I'm sure the coaching staff not going to be thrilled about that, but no worse for the wear. The kick is up and good, and it is 21-2 now. The Gators starting to open this one up a little bit.
And as Jordan had to run onto the field late for that extra point, I'm not sure what happened there.
Might have still been catching his breath.
Yeah, not recognizing. That might have been actually the better answer for that as well, at least the one he's going to give. But Gateway does get the extra point as he's able to get there, get down, hold on to the ball, and let them kick it for an extra point.
Plaskin continues to be in the kicking game a real ace up the sleeve for the Gators. 4 of 5 on field goals for the season. His only miss was a blocked kick. Every time that the hold and the protection have been good, he has been perfect. And last week he missed what was one of only a few misses on PATs for the season during the 55-0 win over Connellsville. He has been one of many bright spots for the Gators this season, who are looking to get their record to 7-3, secure a first-round bye, and await a quarterfinal matchup. Very excited to see how the playoff bracket shapes up tomorrow evening. Gators down the field in a hurry. Carson Engelke able to put a helmet to the ball carrier there, as the Panthers will not reach the 20 on that return. Great coverage by the kicking unit.
And speaking of the kicking unit, I mean, you talked about it for Gateway, Cole Plaxton. I mean, we talk about how there's a lot of parity in this league this year, a lot of losses from both sides. Moon's the only one that's undefeated right now. You expect close games in these playoffs coming up, and you want to have a kicker who you can rely on, especially when it's late in the game, and those points are going to matter. I expect a lot of these games in the WPIAL playoffs, especially for 5A, to be 3 points, a touchdown, maybe double digits.
Gators now have a double-digit lead after 2 quick touchdowns here in the second quarter. Our score is 21-2. Panthers have not been able to get anything going on offense. They'll go to the air here. Now flushed out of the pocket. Donnelly going to be drugged down, was looking for some room to run, and a great hustle play there. Hunter Dow able to knife through and bring down Donnelly in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of 6. And once again, deep in their own territory, Franklin Regional struggling to move the ball. And Gateway will take a timeout here to try and preserve some time in case they can get the ball back.
And you take another look here. Donnelly again scrambling out of the pocket. Let's see how many Gators in the backfield. 1, 2, maybe 3 before Donnelly has to roll out to his right. Gateway has been all in the backfield for the Gators, and when you have a quarterback that is not able to be comfortable in the backfield for Franklin Regional, you really can't generate any offense at all. You're scrambling and just hoping something works instead of the plays that you're designed to run for the Panthers.
So 2:36 left here in our first half. Want to make sure to remind you all to stick around during halftime of the Trib Live halftime show. Get you all caught up on all the action as we are in the last week of the regular season. Like we said in 5A, certainly 11 of the 12 seeds are set. We know for the most part who's going to be in the tournament. But this last week, you still get a sense that there's still some teams jockeying for position, jockeying to secure section or conference titles. So still a lot to play for here heading toward the playoffs. Not sure who's going to be facing who and who's going to be playing where. We'll find out soon enough. Another pass play here. This one in the backfield. It's popped up in the air, and it's intercepted. The Gators able to come away with it, and they'll have a short field here with 2:27 to go, as that one was bounced up in the air by Maddox Morrison. We'll see who came down with it, as Demetrius Harper a little slow to get up. Looks like it might have been Hunter Dow that came away with the interception. And for, I think, the 3rd consecutive week, we've seen a big guy come away with an interception.
I mean, this ball hung in the air for a while. You see it's another screen for Franklin Regional. Oh, he smacked it up in the air, number 4 for the Panthers, Maddox Morrison. And I think it was 60 that collected that one?
It was, Hunter Dow.
Hunter Dow. So another big man getting the interceptions. Always good to see. You love seeing that, by the way, when it comes to football. Always good to see the guys in the trenches coming up with the ball when it kind of just plops right to them.
I don't know that anything will beat seeing 6 foot, 320-pound Christopher Horton come down with one against Woodland Hills and then drag a couple other defenders, or rather offensive, turned into defensive players for about 10 yards. And the like you said, Spencer, you can just tell the reaction on the sidelines. The guys get so fired up. The crowd gets fired up. It's so much fun to see the big fellas get a chance to get their hands on the ball. In fact, we even saw Aiden Smith, the linebacker, return a kick earlier in this game. So it's been an interesting contest, to say the least. Gators will take over here. They'll go to the end zone. One play, one pass, one score. Patrick Body in the back of the end zone, completely uncovered. And that's an easy pass and catch. Good for 14 yards and a touchdown.
That blown coverage for Franklin Regional. How are you going to let the Cincinnati commit wide open? I think he's going to make that catch 99.5 times out of 100. As you see on the replay, nobody even near him. 26-9 for Franklin Regional. Were both near the corner of the end zone. I think it was a bit of an issue on their assignments and to see exactly who they were supposed to be covering, which one was supposed to be more towards the middle of the field. So Gateway gets a touchdown off of Patrick Body Jr. and one of the easiest touchdowns I think we'll see all evening, I should say, for Gateway when it comes to throws.
And didn't take a whole lot of time off of the clock here, and so now if you're Franklin Regional, you worry about getting the ball back, again not being able to do anything offensively, and do the Gators burn the last of their couple timeouts and try and get the ball back to try and get another score. They started out slow. It was 7-2 after our first quarter of play, but now 3 second quarter touchdowns. It was Birch with a couple touchdown tosses through the air, one to Dallas Harper, one to Patrick Body, and 2 runs in between Jaquan Reynolds. And so for Body there, that is now touchdown, I believe number 7 on the season. He's one of the leaders for the Gators. And so Plaskin lifts this one off. Another good kick down inside the 10-yard line. And out to return it with a big hole there is Roman Sarnik. And Sarnik, or rather Zach Buska with one man to beat. And he's going to get to the end zone. He'll take this one 90-plus yards for a kick return touchdown. And the Panthers strike back quickly. 2 touchdowns in less than 15 seconds. The Gators get a quick one to Body. The Panthers bring it back down the other way, as that is a 92-yard touchdown return.
Yeah, the heart monitor still beating for Franklin Regional, and that was just what the doctor ordered, is they needed a return like that for the Panthers, just to give them a little bit of a spark, a little bit of life in this game. You take another look at the return for Buska. He's got good protection up front. 3 players on Gateway on the left side, expecting him to go to the left. Instead, he stays in the middle. Watch the ankle breaking of number 46 for Gateway, Cole Plaskin. The extra point attempt is good for Franklin Regional, but again, we were just talking about how Gateway, try and force them to maybe take some time out to maybe get some points on the board. Now it's Franklin Regional who has responded with only 2 minutes remaining in this first half, but it only took a couple seconds off to score.
So a couple quick touchdowns. Still 2:05 on the clock, and so the Gators will try and build that lead back up. It was 26, now it's back down to 19. And a little bit of life, a little bit of enthusiasm now for a crowd that had gone mostly silent here out in Murraysville, Pennsylvania, as the big play puts 7 on the board.
Yeah, it was the loudest we'd heard this crowd since the hot dog launching, unfortunately, and it's good to see them getting excited for a nice return for the Panthers. And a kick return, and again, like I said, that's a kick return right there that really keeps you in this game. I think if Gateway is able to drive down the field and score again, you only have 2 points on the board. Maybe you have the ball back going into the half, but still, the fact that you're able to get to 9 at least signifies that you have a little bit of life left. Still plenty of time, still a whole half remaining in this game.
And if you're Franklin Regional and you do happen to get out of this half down 19, they do get the ball to start the second half. The Gators started off with the ball to start this one. Another short kickoff. This one's going to take a big bounce there. Birch going to have to wait on it. So he has guys right in his face, but he's able to get to the outside, create a little bit of space, but a good tackle there. And he is there short of the 30-yard line. As again, a Gator and a Panther getting tangled up, but cooler heads prevail there, as it looked like Brett Fickle and Amari Haynes.
Take another look at this kick, and again, Franklin Regional, that's by design. You can tell he's not putting his foot all the way through that one, not swinging through. and they're expecting that short kick where the Panthers are able to get there before number 7, Brett Birch, can make any do with it, and he decides to shoot that one outside while everybody converges on him, see if he can break out to the left side and get some yards. But unfortunately there, Franklin Regional was just able to get to.
And to be honest, it's probably about the worst field position Gateway's had to start. Rather, other than the, oh my goodness, a pass over the top, and no one's going to catch this one. Dallas Harper for the second offensive play in a row. The Gators take the lid off of the defense, a completely blown coverage, and I had to stop mid-sentence there because that happened just so quickly. But that one's going to be a 71 or 61-yard touchdown pass to Dallas Harper.
And unfortunately, I think the reason you see Aiden Hudak is limping off the field, I think that's the biggest reason for it. It's a little slow moving forward for Gateway. And you saw Tyler Buska, who had to help. He had to make a desperation play just to get there. Unfortunately, not in there in time, and it's an easy touchdown for Gateway.
So my math was right the first time. That was a 71-yard touchdown pass on the first play of the drive. Over the top to Dallas Harper, who is off to the races, turned on the Jets. PAT is good, and so the lead is back up to 26. So we've had 3 touchdowns on the board in less than a minute of gameplay. I think even 45 seconds.
This game was, what, 7-2, 9-2 for the longest time, and here we are 35-9 with a couple snaps of the fingers. But yeah, take another look at that replay. I think that was the issue, unfortunately, for Franklin Regional. It was a player who pulled up a little limp for the Panthers is the reason why he was able to get a step over him, and then the defensive help coverage was just a little bit too late for the Panthers, and an easy touchdown for Gateway.
So 1:43 left here in the opening half. We'll see if the Panthers can get another decent return from Zach Buska, who just took the last one, 93 yards to pay dirt for the first touchdown in the evening of the Panthers. So you had a turnover. Hunter Dow gets the interception. It's a 14-yard touchdown pass to Patrick Body. Then you get a 93-yard kick return as this one slips past. Now Buska going to get swallowed up, and about the opposite from the last return where he took it all away. This one gets past him. He has to just get back to it and is walloped inside the 10, back at about the 8-yard line. So you had the long kick return. Then they kick it back to the Gators, and they go 71 yards on the first play from scrimmage over the top to Dallas Harper.
And Buska let that ball play him. He waited for it, was waiting for it to bounce to him, and it took an air and bounce to his left, so he had to backtrack, and 4 or 5 Gateway Gators were right there to meet him when he had nothing doing on the return.
Good coverage there, and now we'll see exactly what the Panthers aim to do here. Do they try and open up the playbook, or do they try and just take this one into the half deep in their own territory? Last time they were in this situation was just a few moments ago, a few touchdowns ago. The interception to Hunter Dow. Tried to get the screenplay set up. The ball bounced up in the air, and Dow came down with it. They'll hand it off here. Decent hole there and a surge forward, result in a gain of about 2 yards. And we will get a timeout from the Gateway Gators, as that will be, I believe, their second of the half. Though the scoreboard does still say they have 2, so we shall see. Thought they had called one on the last Panthers drive before the interception, but clock will stop with 1:29. We'll get it all sorted out here.
You figure Gateway, if they're able to hold Franklin Regional here, get some stops. One of the biggest things, we're not even talking about getting the ball in good field position, getting a ball or hand on the punt. They've been in the backfield every single time on these punts. They're able to pin them back in their own territory, get either a block punt or a short punt, because he doesn't have much room to work with the punter for Franklin Regional. You get yourselves very good field position.
So you see at the bottom of your screen scores coming through here in 5A. And once again, Pine Richland struggling. There's a big game. Peters and South Fayette both fighting for one of the final spots in the playoffs. Just one position left up for grab, but Pine Richland really struggling against Fox Chapel. 7-7 in the second quarter. Moon up just 8 at the half against West Allegheny. Now going to throw it away here See if that ball carrier, or quarterback rather, is still in the pocket. That might be intentional grounding. We'll see if we get the call. There were a bunch of Gators in the backfield. I'm sure the coaching staff, Don Hall and company, clamoring for the call. As you take another look as Donnelly sort of drops back and throws that one to no one. I don't know. I thought that might have been a intentional grounding call.
I got to be honest, I don't want to discredit myself as a color commentator. I still do not know the exact rules of intentional grounding. I swear there's about 7 different things that could be in play for intentional grounding.
I don't think you're alone on that one. Is a decent gain there on 3rd down. And that worth noting, that passing play there stopped the clock, and so now the Gators will call the timeout, so it will allow them to get the ball back with 1 minute and 17 seconds here, as it's an obvious punting situation for Franklin Regional with 4th and short at their own 16-yard line after the 5-yard gain there on the carrier by Tyler Buska.
And you see that shovel to Buska, and looking for some blocks, just trying to find some holes, but Gateway has plugged all the holes, especially on the sides for the Gators, and nothing doing for Franklin Regional offensively really in this game as an entirety.
Only points have come on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, the only points is one of them arguably wasn't even them doing it. It was more of Gateway just kicking it out of the end zone. The other one was, of course, the nice kick return. But, and Franklin Regional, you know, want to hold yourself into this game at least make it somewhat interesting. You need to start moving the ball, and Gateway is not letting him do that at all.
So the Gators look to get the ball back with a little over a minute left in play, and if this upcoming drive is anything like their last, they won't need all of it. 2 quick passing scores on the past 2 drives. Birch with now 3 touchdown passes on the evening. Good snap. Kick is away. Birch will take this one at the 44-yard line. Makes 1 man miss, 2 men miss. He's got a blocker, but he's swallowed up. A nice job coming up and making the open field tackle is Heath Sleva, and the freshman able to knife through and bring down Birch, because he was starting to get a wall of blockers there. If he gets past Sleva, I think he might take that one off to the races.
Well, real quick, just want to say I'm glad that Franklin Regional went with the max protect punt here, as they're able to have plenty of time to get it off. And yeah, like you said, you take a look at Birch here, you see he has a couple players with him. Then when he cuts back, he's got 3-4 guys that are able to block for him. And you see right there, it's just Sleva who was able to get right around them and was able to get to him first and take him down by the shoestring.
So they're still on the right side of the 50. Ball at the 43-yard line after the short return by Brett Birch. Now he and the rest of the offensive unit for the Gators will go to work. His brother Brad takes the snap, and he's back to pass. Has a man open along the sidelines. It's Reynolds. Reynolds bobbles it, catches it, and then fumbles it at the end of that. But it'll still result in a gain of about 25 yards. They'll get it from the 43 down to about the 18-yard line. They get a gain of 25 on the nose.
And look who's on him. Watch on your screen. You see it's 70. Brett Hickey is the one guarding him. Hickey's just gets blown by from the running back, like you said, Reynolds. That's a bad matchup for Franklin Regional, a good matchup for Gateway, and that's for the big game.
Screen pass out to Brett Birch. He makes a few miss. He's down inside the 5, down to about the 1-yard line. A nice quick screen pass there. That's everything Franklin Regional's been trying to do, but has been unable to do. And so the clock continues to run, and they'll spike it here with 42-41. Well, the clock's still running. They're going to have to maybe fix that as it stands 40 seconds on the clock. Ball at what looks like the 2-yard line after the 16-yard gain from Brad Birch to Brett Birch. So 2nd and goal now after the spike. They'll run the option. Birch going to try and keep it himself. He's going to get away from a moment, and he's going to get into the end zone. A great second effort, and Brad Birch with another rushing touchdown on the season. That's his 4th, and it's all Gators now, 41-9.
And like I said, not the drive that Brett Hickey wants to remember. Hickey took the outside, was forcing him back in. Birch made a nice move, cut back, and was able to get by him. He taking another look at it, looking for the option, actually, I should say. My apologies. He was looking at the option and was trying to stay home with him, but Birch just cut it a little too far outside, as that one almost blocked on the extra point. But
up and good.
It is good, and that's well executed by Gateway. on that option, you have the ability to either pitch it or not. You see on the replay from that extra point, Red Hickey almost did get to that one, but Gateway gets their 42nd point of the first half.
Now Birch looking every bit the part that he did last week with 229 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown against Connellsville. And he has racked up some impressive stats in this first half. 3 touchdown passes and another one on the ground. Couple that with 2 more rushing touchdowns for Jaquan Reynolds. And a couple special teams blunders, but not a whole lot to complain about when you're up 33 with 34 seconds left in the first half of play.
Yeah, with the exception of the miscues, I think, at the beginning of the game, really solid overall for pretty much everybody. The offense for Gateway, the defense has stifled Franklin Regional. Yeah, the special teams, you saw the snap over Plaxton, but other than that, it's been pretty good for Gateway so far.
This one, a low grounder, gets swallowed up. Ball carrier gets walloped at about the 24-yard line, 29 seconds. We'll see what the strategy is here for Franklin Regional, as it has been tough sledding, to say the least. They have not been able to move the football. I'm not even so sure that they've picked up a first down offensively thus far in this game.
It's been a while. I think you might be right, Vince. And it's just frustrating when nothing is working, and even the things that you go to as new plays aren't working. It's just the question, what do you do? Especially if you're Donnelly. I mean, you're getting rushed out of the pocket half the time, it seems like. What do you do?
RPO, they'll hand this one to the tailback, and the pile moves forward for a few yards. The clock will run, and that may very well be our last play of the first half, as the Gators took them a little while to get rolling, but it looks like they are off and running toward their 7th win of the season, as we will head into the half. 42-9 our score here at Franklin Regional. A big second quarter, outscoring Franklin Regional 35-7. Spencer, what went right in this second quarter? What was that turning of the page? Where did things really start to develop here for the Gators?
I think something that I don't think we talk about is them just calming down. I think at the beginning of this game, Franklin Regional had all the momentum, all the pressure, so the fans were into it. They were chanting, cheering, and Gateway was able to just relax, take a deep breath, play Gateway football that they've been playing all year, and they were able to execute really well, I think, especially going into that second quarter, both sides of the field.
And you look now, yeah, that student section sure got a lot quieter here at Franklin Regional. But as we go to the second half, you wonder, how long do they keep the starters out there? You're eyeing up the playoffs. Certainly, if you are hypothetically able to get one of those top 4 spots, you get the bye. But so far, it's been a healthy season. It's been a healthy first half. You start to wonder, they start to pull some of those guys out because you don't want to get anyone hurt right before the playoffs.
I wouldn't even be surprised, to be honest. I know Gateway wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if you start pulling some people in the second half especially. I think that this is a game right now that Gateway really has nothing more to win when it comes to placement, when it comes to seeding. They have proven themselves. It's 42-9 in the first half. I think you just got to kind of park the bus a little bit and just kind of get yourself, or I should say start the bus and get that one rolling and go back home.
Any closing thoughts before we head to halftime?
Just solid overall for Gateway, and Franklin Regional has a lot to work on, and they need to really fix their offense. I think they're struggling, especially on those short passes. They need to move the ball downfield a little bit. I know it's tough. That line needs to start protecting Donnelly a little bit more so he can send that down the field.
4 total touchdowns from Brad Birch, and it's a comfortable 42-9 lead at the half. We'll step aside, but we thank everyone for joining us here on YouTube and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Stick around for the halftime show. We'll be back with the second half of action right here from Franklin Regional.
The theme from Ghostbusters, The Monster Mash, and Michael Jackson's Thriller. And now, the Gateway Music Department is proud to present drum majors Ashwarya Murphy and Rebecca Wilden in the Gateway High School Marching Band. The Gateway Band is directed by Mr. James Halchi with assistance from Sean McMasters, Ryan Moser, and Dave Bruno, with color guard direction by Bob Reed and Deb Costner. Thank you for your support. Mr. Halchi and the Gateway Band would like to extend well wishes to Mr. Sylvester and the entire Franklin Regional Marching Band.
Heard it here first. Friday night, let's see how bad they're losing. Baldwin to Lebo. Rivals. You have to win to be a rival. You have to actually beat them in something to be a rival.
Ladies and gentlemen, please get your 50-50 tickets out. The winning number, which is not mine, is a white ticket. Number 221 5245. Once again, the winning 50-50 ticket number worth $210 is a white ticket. Number 2215245 is up on the scoreboard. Please bring your winning ticket to the scoreboard side of the press box to collect your winning. Also, from the Franklin Regional Cheerleaders, the winner of the halftime cash giveaway drawing, which is separate from the 50-50 drawing, is Diane Gators. Thank you.
What does it say? You gotta play with it?
Getting ready now for the second half of play here from Franklin Regional High School, and one half in the books, all Gators. Started out a little rough, Spencer, but we got to where we thought this game would ultimately end up, 42-9 Gators after one half.
Yeah, and I think Gateway really, I hate to say it like this, but they remembered who they were. They kind of calmed themselves down, they played their game, and they were able to execute well all across, on both sides of the ball, and kind of in the special teams. They had a little bit of some issues, but they've gotten those figured out for the most part.
And now as you look toward the playoffs, you look toward a potential bye scenario, you look towards some of the things that are opening up in a path to really make a run, you have to wonder how much longer do we think we'll see the first units on offense and defense in this contest here moving into the second half?
Well, I think at the very least you have to be conservative when it comes to your attack and your defense especially. Don't really let Franklin Regional do anything crazy to get themselves back into this game and force the defense to have to come back on or force the offense to have to come back on to the field. But I don't see – I'm not the coach. I have never been a coach, but I don't see Gateway really putting out their starters, especially late in the fourth and even late in the third, to be honest. I think this is a game that you've done what you needed to do. You've done what you've shown what you are capable of, and then you just you're looking next week, to be honest. I hate saying that against Franklin Regional, but it's exactly what you have to do in this situation. You're looking at next week.
Worth noting, one more score by the Gators if they're able to take – their lead is currently at 33. If they score again and make it past 35, seeing as we're in the second half now, we will see the modified timekeeping go into effect, which would allow that clock to continue to run, which would shorten the game. So something to keep an eye on if you think the clock's rolling inadvertently at the bottom of the screen. But both special team units now out on the field. Franklin Regional will receive the second half kick. Plaskin and the Gators set to kick this one off here as we start the third quarter of action here. This kick will take a friendly bounce inside the 20 to around the 15. It's corralled and taken up over the 30-yard line and stopped before getting out toward the 35 as the return man. The ball came out late. See what the call is. Was the runner down, or did the Gators come away with it? It looks as if the Gators did come away with it. A turnover there on the kickoff, and so the Gators offense now will go to work, as that was a late fumble. See if we can track it down here on the replay.
We'll take another look. It is Zach Buska, and you see a couple players fighting for it. Did he lose that one before going down? Did he even have stopped progress? Was progress even stopped for him? You see another look. He breaks one tackle, and then he moves forward. It's going to be right here. Was that ball punched out? I think it was just ripped out of his hands, to be honest. That's tough to tell, but the delayed reaction of it makes it seem like it was later rather than earlier.
They'll go for the big play here right afterward, and that one's going to be intercepted. So a turnover, and then the Gators give it right back to the Panthers. We saw a sloppy play like that in the first quarter, and we pick up the second half with a little more of it. Is the 6'4" defensive back Caden Smith went up and got that one.
Yes, Caden Smith's got the height advantage on the receiver. You see, big throw from Birch. Smith just cuts in front of it. He's playing his man well. Was able to get to that ball first. Uses height and uses athleticism to get up there and grab that one and corral it in.
So 4 total touchdowns, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground by Brad Birch in the first half, but now that's his second interception of the game thus far, and it sets the Panthers up at their own 20-yard line after that ball intercepted in the end zone. Quick pass there, that one in and out of the arms of the intended receiver. A lot of pressure there. Roman Sarnik unable to come up with it as Donnelly had to fire that one quickly as he had Gators bearing down on him.
Yeah, Demetrius Harper was the one. You take a look. Basically, he could feel Harper coming at him, so he tries to get that one off quick. And unfortunately not hauled in by Roman Sarnik. And again, I don't expect him to have all the time in the world in the backfield, but he just is not able to be comfortable in the backfield, Donnelly, at all this game. There it is again. He's rushed out of the pocket again for Franklin Regional.
Yeah, getting back in there, Matthew Brooks able to apply pressure. The 6'2", 255-pound defensive lineman disrupting that play. Had a blocker strung on him, just shoved him aside and was able to bring the quarterback down to the ground. I think that will technically be an incompletion. No, they will call it a sack. They'll say he was down. So that's third and about 16 now. And the Panthers will be at their own 16-yard line.
I know they don't have replay, but I think based on that look, I think that was an incomplete pass instead of him being taken down. I think he got it out before his knee hit the ground, so tough break for Franklin Regional. Again, third and we're looking at now 16 you expect, I think what Franklin Regional's going to go with here is either a screen pass. I think they can't throw the ball far, so they're going to try and get guys upfield, try and block him, and we'll see how Gateway will respond with that.
They'll operate out of the gun. 3rd and long. Donnelly steps up, gets away from one. Hunter Dow unable to bring him down. Now Harper, Brooks, and Aiden Smith get back to him as he gets to around the original line to gain, so make it a gain of about 6 yards. But once again, the punt unit will come on for the Panthers. So crisis averted after the interception thrown by Birch, and the Gators should get the ball back again with decent field position.
And you see Donnelly forced to scramble here, and I think he should have broken this one outside. Watch him cut back again right there. I think he's got to try and see if he can get to the edge before number 11, Demetrius Harper, can get to him, because cutting back in, there's a couple of Gators right there for him. He had a little bit of open field near the Gateway Gators sideline, but still, I mean, he was really escaping and just trying to get as many yards as he can to give his punt unit some more room.
So the first 2 minutes off the clock here, a couple drives, and a couple turnovers. This ball will bounce over the head of Brett Birch, and now he'll pick it up at his own 40-yard line. He'll get over the 45 and close to midfield, for he's brought down by a group of Panther defenders. And so the Gators will go to work with excellent field position once again, and we'll see if Birch and company can right the ship after the interception into the end zone on the first play of the last drive.
And I think that was more of a Hail Mary ball, just kind of seeing the one-on-one coverage, see what your receiver can do on that last interception. I think Franklin Regional, we'll see again, still have Birch out there. He looks like he's going to line up under center, line up as the quarterback for this drive as well. But we'll see exactly what Gateway will do. Again, question is, do they go more conservative on their offense, or do they still just try and throw the ball down the field, hope for the best, as we have
a penalty.
Looks like a penalty, yeah, on Gateway.
Not exactly sure what the call was there, but it will march the Gators back 15 yards, and so instead of starting at the 48-yard line, they will start at the 33. So they'll have a bit longer of a field to go, 67 yards to pay dirt. They'll trot the offense out. Starters remain in with 9:37 here in the third quarter. Gators leading 42-9. Ball on the right hash. Gators going right to left across your screen, and they'll go to work. Birch with a quick pass out of the backfield. He airmailed that one, and Reynolds gets walloped over toward the sidelines. A big hit there is Garrett Deller, who is making his first appearance. He played in the first game of the season, sustained an injury. He was someone that was looked at as a leader and a talented player for the Panthers, and unfortunately missed a lot of time. You see him there making a big hit there on Reynolds, the intended pass catcher.
And it's good to see Deller coming back again, the senior for Franklin Regional. Last game of the year, senior day for him. So it's always nice to see him come back on the field for the Panthers.
So 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. And they'll hand it off to Reynolds. Reynolds with a nice hole. He makes a nice move. He's able to get around a few defenders in the open field, and he'll get up towards midfield. Needed about 10 yards there and got much more. Make that a gain of about 12 yards. As again, a nice run by Reynolds.
Yeah, you see a big hole there, 55 for Gateway. That's Matthew Brooks, who was able to create that hole for the Gators, and for Reynolds, was able to break for a big gain.
They'll fake the handoff here. They'll go out Birch to Birch. They have the screen set up. Good blockers in front. Now he's off to the races. Down to the 30, down to the 20, down inside the 10, and he's going to take this one into the end zone. Jumps over a defender, and that is a touchdown. No flags on the field, and that is going to be a long one there. Ball was at about the 45-yard line, so a 55-yard touchdown there. Take another look.
And they're not going to get credit for it, nothing on the stat sheet, but 53-60, you see on your screen, forcing Franklin Regional back in. They got some blockers for Brett Birch, and that is the big reason I think that Birch was able to take this one all the way down. Number 4 as well, Patrick Bodie Jr., nice block for Gateway for the touchdown.
And the PAT following up and good. Once again, Plaskin continues to be solid. And the lead is now 40, and we will enter the modified timekeeping as it is 49-9. Gators all over top of Franklin Regional. take one last look at that excellent blocking downfield on the screen.
And again, 53, that's Barrett Fowler, 60, Hunter Dow. It's arguably been the difference between these teams. I know you don't necessarily think that, but Franklin Regional, their offensive line has struggled to keep Donnelly protected in the pocket. And on the other side for Gateway, they have blocked well on plays like that. It's a big difference in this game. When your offense can't get anything going for Franklin Regional, your defense is on the field for so long. The offensive line is just barreling down on you. It's tough. It's tough to stop these Gateway Gators.
So that's Birch's 4th touchdown pass on the evening, 5th total touchdown overall. First connection tonight with his brother. And so Brett Birch able to find the end zone. Birch 8th in receptions, 9th in receiving yards in 5A. Having himself a decent season. Both brothers coming up from Jeanette, transfers from last year's single A title winner. And so we saw both players going through that maturation process of growing up playing 5A here. You see, looks like the knee was down there on the return man. Looks like they might have missed that one.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was looking at that myself. I didn't know. I mean, high school football, knee is down, no touch is still going to be down, right? So a bit surprised by that one.
And frankly, the officials are normally very on top of that. We've seen that numerous times this season. We saw it earlier in this contest with Brett Birch fielding one from his knee that looked like it may have touched, may have not, but they called it dead immediately. They're normally very quick to get on top of that, but a rare miss there. And the Panthers will benefit by gaining about an extra 10 or so yards, and they'll start this drive at the 40-yard line as the rain starts to fall once again here in Murraysville. And again, pressure in the backfield. Donnelly doing a good job. He evades probably the first 4 or so Gators, but by the time Hunter Dow got back there, Donnelly had run out of steam and run out of places to go. So a sack for Hunter Dow, and that'll be another first down play in which Franklin Regional goes either nowhere or backwards. That's really been the story tonight, Spencer. Just futility on first down for Franklin Regional.
Yeah, Connor Donnelly is going to have white jerseys in his nightmares tonight. I mean, it's just been a rough night for him to do anything regardless. It's not like it's him having the issues when it comes to his throws. Yes, he's had some issues with that. It's just when you're scrambling constantly, you can't be expected to make perfect plays, and that's the problem for Donnelly. He's not able to do really anything, unfortunately, for Franklin Regional.
They'll go to the option here. Donnelly fakes the pitch. Now he has some room. A nice run there, and he gets up over the 40-yard line. Was he down? The ball came loose. I think Donnelly ultimately got back on top of it, which was incredible, being that there were so many white jerseys around. And so they do call it a fumble. That'll actually result in a few more yards for the Panthers, who are now down to the Gateway 35.
And this is a really good play by Donnelly. I think this is the first time we've seen him fake the pitch. They have pitched it pretty much every single time. And yeah, that ball was pulled out by number 16 for Gateway, Carson Engelka. Engelka,
yeah.
Sorry, my apologies. But yeah, I mean, Franklin Regional, that's an offensive play you need. Once you have that quarterback option, you can give yourself some more options just like this.
Yeah, another good play design, another good fake. Not quite the same hole that was there on the last one, but a decent gain of 4, which, based off of how first downs have been going for the Panthers, you'll take that.
I think that might have been the first down we've seen from Franklin Regional in a very, very long time, unfortunately, for this game. You take another look. Again, it's this pitch that we've seen it a lot, probably about 5 times so far, but this time it was a fake. Got a little bit with a holding there, but, you know, nothing called, but still a couple of yards. And again, you're not expecting to win this game, unfortunately, for Franklin Regional. 49-9, clock counting. If you can get double digits, 20 points, you're looking good going into playoffs.
Another carry here by one of the Buska brothers. That's Tyler. And so the senior on senior night sets the Panthers up. About a 3rd and 4 upcoming here. Ball inside the 30. This is the deepest they've gotten into enemy territory thus far tonight. Ball sits at the 29-yard line of the Gateway Gators.
Donnelly doing a lot there. You saw the little block he had on Demetrius Harper, kind of pushing him down, helping out his teammates, staying with the play. This is where you start. I know the rain is coming down a little bit more. You start airing it out a little bit more if you're Donnelly. Once you establish the run and make Gateway sell on the run, as we see, what I believe should be an offsides for Gateway. I don't think anyone moved for Franklin Regional, but we'll see.
Well, Harper tried to time the snap out. We've seen Aiden Smith do that a ton this season, but Harper gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and so that will move the chains without Franklin Regional having to move the ball offensively. As you see, Harper he knew as soon as he got across that he had messed up on that one. Harper's been so good this season at that end position. So it'll be a fresh set of downs, and now the ball at the 24. Franklin Regional threatening to get into the red zone for the first time this evening. They'll operate out of the shotgun with 2 receivers. Now they send a man in motion. Snaps a little low. They'll get this one out into the flat, but again, thrown too far for the intended receiver, Brett Fickle, the motion man. And so it'll be 2nd down and 10.
We've seen this kind of pattern towards the sidelines that really hasn't worked for Franklin Regional. I don't think they've had a throw like that been successful yet. Unfortunately, this evening, you take another look at it. It's this play where 44, I mean, he's open for a minute. He's got the defender chasing him down, but just can't get it to him. It's only going to get you a couple of yards, but again, it's moving the ball forward, and I think that's what Franklin Regional wants to do, is you see rain starting to pick up a little bit more here in Murraysville, Pennsylvania.
So 2nd down and 10 upcoming. Hopefully a little bit of movement there, and there is a flag that comes in. Likely a penalty upcoming against the offense. And we'll see what the call is. Yep, it will be a foul against the offense, and so that will back them up. So that'll make it a 2nd and what looks to be about 15. Ball now back at the 29-yard line, so they lose the 5 yards that they gained with Demetrius Harper jumping off sides, and now things get a little more difficult for this Panthers offense.
I think it was Brett Frick who was still in motion. He wasn't set once that play was snapped, so that was the reason for the flag on the play.
Timeout by the offense. They want to take some time to think this one over, so the clock will stop with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Gateway up by 40. So we are into the modified timekeeping. The Gators, after surrendering a safety in the game being 7-2, have now outscored Franklin Regional from that first quarter on 42-7. It's been all Gators other than a 93-yard kick return by Zach Buska. As we talked about, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 on the ground for Brad Birch. As we take a look at the Big East standings, Penn Trafford taking care of Latrobe tonight, so they will likely wrap up the conference title tonight. Gateway looking to move to 4-1. They'll be the runner-ups at 7-3, should gain a high seed in the playoffs. And then Franklin Regional and Woodland Hills will be the other 2 playoff-bound teams. Woodland Hills currently up on Connellsville. They'll move into that 3 spot at 4-6, and Franklin Regional will probably be one of the last teams seeded toward the bottom of the bracket, as they'll finish 3-7, 2-3 in conference play. Latrobe and Connellsville, no playoffs this season. For Connellsville, no wins this season. 2nd down and long. Donnelly with a little bit of time to throw, but he's going to hold on to it just a bit too long, and Hunter Dow is going to track him down about 15 yards back behind the line of scrimmage, or rather 15 behind the original line to gain. And all of that is to say it's going to be 3rd and very long upcoming for Franklin Regional.
And I'll give the offensive line a little more credit here this time. I think it was just too long. Nothing was working downfield for Donnelly, and he couldn't hold off the defense forever. Once he finally broke out of the pocket, it was just too much for Donnelly.
So they got down as close as the 24-yard line of Gateway. Now they find themselves at the 42. It's officially 3rd and 25. And we'll see what they draw up here. As Donnelly rolls out to his right, has time, goes, and this one intercepted along the sidelines. And it looks like Patrick Bodie Jr. was able to bring that ball in with feet inbounds. read the play excellently, and there you get a look. We see him much more making big splash plays on offense, but for the second week in a row, he's made a couple big defensive plays, and he shows you why he's being recruited as a DB at the next level.
Yeah, take a look at the awareness. You see Donnelly rolling out to his right, and there's only really one receiver, two receivers to be specific. He was looking at number 4, Maddox Morrison, the whole time. Body recognized that the whole time as well. Stepped up, timed that perfectly, and picked it off for Gateway.
And it looks like we will finally see the second unit come out for the Gateway Gators. And so now stepping in behind center is Elcedro Bryant, a 5'11 freshman. He'll hand this off to Jameer Harbor. Harbor, a starter on defense. He's the backup tailback. He'll gain about 6 yards there on first down. And a good push there by Harbor, the senior running back. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Your score after 3 quarters of play, 49-9. The Gators all over top of the Franklin Regional Panthers here on the road in the rain in Murraysville, Pennsylvania. Just 12 minutes to go. You've been tuned into Gateway Football on YouTube and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Vince Russo and Spencer Witt here tonight bringing you this call. As you see the rain starting to pick up a little bit here. The Gators getting their starters out. Let's take a look at the Northeast Conference standings. All 3 of these teams at the top winning tonight, so it's going to be real interesting to see how they're seeded, who ultimately ends up as the conference champion. I tell you, I do not envy the selection committee trying to seed things out this year with so many teams. You look, 3 losses, 4 losses. There's, and then you got Kiski at 6-3. They didn't have the toughest non-conference schedule in the world. They're not making it moving forward. Then you got your top 4 here. Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair were engaged in a battle looking for second place. Bethel Park started the season off rough, rattled off 4 victories in a row. But Moon, they are looking the part. They're up 32-10 on West Allegheny, and it looks like they will take an undefeated record into the playoffs. There, Jameer Harbor down the sidelines. Can he get the edge all the way to the end zone? He does! A 60-yard touchdown run. Jameer Harbor got the edge. He turned on the Jets, and no one was able to take the right angle to get to him. And so he takes that one coast to coast for 6. The senior running back into the end zone.
Yeah, good to see from Harbor, the senior running back, like I said, bouncing outside, breaking a tackle, got a good block for him as well, and then he's off to the races down that sideline. Nobody able to catch Jameer Harbor. Another score for Gateway, and they are just piling it on here against the Panthers.
Second consecutive week that the Gators have scored 55 points. Plaskin will try and outdo himself from last week. He is now 8 for 8, kicking the ball for PATs. So last week it was a 55-0 decision over Connellsville. This week now up 56-9. And my goodness, even the second unit able to just carve up Franklin Regional's defense. Take another look at that long touchdown run. It looked as if they were going to catch Harbor there at the end, but just a little bit of speed there to get him over the top at the end. And you said it well, Spencer. Good to see the senior get a carry late in the season and be able to break a big run. And definitely a confidence booster for someone who has played major snaps on defense and could very well get some carries in the playoffs. So the clock will continue to run here. 10 minutes. We will just pass that mark as the kickoff team trots out. The return team set and ready for Franklin Regional, as that was their only touchdown scored, was that long 93-yard kick return touchdown. For the Gators, they've scored in a myriad of ways. That was their 3rd rushing touchdown, rather 4th rushing touchdown. They got 4 passing touchdowns, so a very balanced attack for the Gators tonight. And Definitely a statement win. Another really good showing as they get closer and closer to the playoffs. Different kicker in now for the Gators, and the ball carrier Buzka will get brought down. And we don't have 63 on our roster, so we're not exactly sure who that is, but a decent kick there down inside the 25-yard line, and you're going to get that every now and again.
I can't believe that Gateway would bring a ringer in up 56-9 on as a kicker, you know? I mean, I can't believe that. Who would have thought, you know?
So, a couple new players getting opportunities. Second defense is now in. Rakari L playing at the edge position. Got Leonard Sherrod back in the secondary. Cameron Price on the outside playing cornerback.
I think now especially you really got to get all the seniors in if you can. If they're not on the first team, definitely want to get them in. What is their final regular season game for both Gateway and Franklin Regional.
And it looked like the ball may have come out at the end of that run. We'll see if they mark the ball carrier down. Still no signal from the officials.
I think no signal is going to mean basically that it is still Franklin Regional ball. We'll take another look at it.
They have made the determination that it will stay with the Panthers. We'll see if that ball did or did not come out before the ball carrier came to the ground. And
ooh, that's out. I think that's out. But did he collect it himself afterwards? I don't think so. I think that might have been.
It looked like it came out. That's a good, excellent job tonight by our replay crew. Through and through, they have caught all of the angles tonight. And that definitely looked like a fumble. But up 47, it doesn't matter quite as much as that last carry was by Tyler Buzka. This one by Zach, his brother. Both seniors getting a few carries here down the line. That one a 6-yard gain on first down to make it 2nd and 6. Rain has thinned the crowd out a little bit. A lot of umbrellas have come out. The Gateway band still playing with fervor as we are close to the halfway mark here of our 4th quarter. Gateway inching closer to that all-important 7th win of the season. Again, an option with a fake pitch there by Donnelly. He's able to get away from a few defenders, and finally able to be brought down by Leonard Sherrod just past midfield, but that will move the chains. So another first down on back-to-back drives now for the Panthers. Let's see if they can put something together here against the Gators' second defense.
A nice move by Donnelly, getting around couple players, not giving up on that play as he was clearly going to be beat by a couple guys, and he decided to cut it back to the right side where he had a little more open ground to take it for the first down.
Ahmad Harris also getting in on the stop there. As we saw, the umbrellas are out in full force. Nice breeze rolling through here into the press box. And it'll be an RPO. But nothing going there. That one swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll stay 2nd down and 10 from the Gateway 48. Nothing doing there for the Panthers. Temperature hasn't dropped too much. We do have some light rain. We haven't seen either team pass the ball yet in this half, more than they've had to. We did see the 55-yard pitch and catch between the Birch brothers. But other than that, we really haven't seen either team try and air it out. Bodie did come up with an interception. They'll try and go to the air here. They'll make a connection, and getting down the sidelines and making a few Gators miss is Roman Sarnik. And so Sarnik with a nice pickup there. Looked like he got inside the 40-yard line, close to first down yardage. Let's take another look.
And just over the fingertips of a Gateway player, and Sarnik moving upfield, and give himself a couple more yards, and I believe he did not get, he did get the first down, correction. So nice play for Franklin Regional. I knew he was close, but Franklin Regional in the first down, though, a flag was on the field, so I think that is actually the reason for it. I think it was a flag on Gateway as well. That's why they're moving the ball even farther down.
Yeah, going to move the Gators, or rather the Panthers, down into Gators territory, even further down to the 22-yard line, getting word that was a face mask penalty. So tack that on to the end of the run. It'll be 1st and 10 once again. Panthers threatening here to put their first offensive points on the board, but that run stalls out. Might have been a gain of a yard. A couple players getting into it on the back end there as Jared Ribar was up in the grill of Donovan Biggs. Let's take another look at the carry there by Tyler Buska. So a little over 3.5 minutes left. Time dwindling down here with the modified timekeeping schedule, and we won't have to wait terribly long to figure out where these two teams will play next. They will both qualify for the playoffs. We'll find out tomorrow night. Playoff pairings. This carry by Donnelly is going to be halted in the backfield. No gain there. That'll bring up a 3rd and long situation.
Again, give credit to this Gateway defense. I mean, they are all over Donnelly and his crew. You take a look, got 2 guys there, 3 guys, see 28, 62, 10 also there, 40 for Gateway. I could keep rattling off numbers of players. As you got 4 or 5 guys tackling these guys near the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Seems almost every play.
Jordan Tyree, Amari Haynes, a few guys involved on the tackle there. And so 3rd and 9, ball at the 21-yard line. Donnelly will roll out, scan his options. No one open. He's going to try and pull this one down and run. And he is brought down hard at about the 20-yard line. An excellent tackle there. Coming up to make the stop, it's Jordan Tyree. Take another look.
Take a look at take a look at the left side of your screen. Donnelly, I thought he had a receiver about 15 yards down the field, closer towards the sideline, but not able to get it to him, and instead was tucked the ball and did not get much out of it.
So the Panthers figure they might as well go for it here. Down 47, inside 2 minutes left to play here in the 4th quarter. It'll be 4th and 7. They'll pitch it out. Now it's going to be a trick play. No one open downfield. They'll throw it into the end zone. A little bit of contact there, but both players going for the ball. That one will be tipped away. Cameron Price, the 5'9" sophomore defensive back, coming up to make the play. So it'll be an incomplete pass after the pitch, and then pass by Tyler Buska doesn't pay off.
Yeah, and you see Price staying with this play, staying with his receiver, and that kind of forced Buska to just throw it down there and hope for the best. And that was the reason that it was broken up by Gateway, was Price all over that one for the Gators.
Looked like they were trying to get that one to Jared Ribar. And that one will be incomplete. And so this clock will continue to wind down, under a minute left to play. The Gators will trot out the offense. We'll likely see maybe 1-2 offensive snaps. And that will do it for us here. Murraysville, a complete performance once again by the Gators, as they have now put together 3 of those in consecutive weeks after the loss at Penn Trafford. A quick kneel down there by the freshman quarterback, Nelson Bryant, able to put the punctuation mark on the end of this one, as I don't think we'll see another play here. Both teams head to the sidelines. We'll get the handshake line, and more importantly, we will start to turn our attention to the 2021 5A playoffs. Spencer, what were some of your thoughts out of those last 3 quarters from the Gators? Certainly struggled to get out of the gate, but, you know, looking at those last 3 quarters, how do you feel about this Gator squad going into the postseason?
Well, if you're the team that's facing Gateway and you're looking back at the film, I would not want to watch that film especially. I mean, Gateway looked good all across the board, offensively, defensively. Even the special teams cleaned themselves up in those last couple of quarters, and I don't want to say they're the team to beat in the 5A. I don't think that would be a stretch. I don't think that would be necessarily the team, but they're definitely up there, one of the top couple of teams, and they looked good tonight against a Franklin Regional team that not necessarily bad when it comes to their lack of ability. It's just the fact that Gateway was doing everything right and Franklin Regional could not do anything.
Yeah, you would have to think Moon likely finishing its season 10-0. They were up big on West Allegheny, and so now we will see the seedings tomorrow. How do you feel confidence-wise in Gateway being one of the top 4 teams and receiving a bye for the playoffs?
Pretty confident. I think that this is a much-needed break for Gateway, especially. It's nice for them to be able to get themselves a little bit of rest, relax, have these two teams, whoever they're playing, fight each other out to see who they will be able to face, or should say, who they will be able to face against. For Gateway, it looks good. I mean, everything looks good. This looks like a team that could make a very good run in this Whitfield playoff. But we talked about it before, 5A, who knows what's going to happen in these playoffs. You got 12 teams going in. Anything can happen.
Well, they're led by a really strong defense. 9 points allowed, all on special teams, no points surrendered defensively. You'd have to think going into the playoffs that having that foundation of an incredibly strong defense that allows just over 13 points a game is something that's going to keep you in every game moving forward.
I definitely agree with that. I think that, offense wins games, defense wins championships, and this could be a defense that, maybe they could win a little bit of a championship here for Gateway. You never know, but if you're an offensive team facing Gateway, you got to start thinking of different plays. You got to start thinking really hard to really try and get around this, especially the front line when it comes to the offense. And that secondary is not letting any receivers get open.
Absolutely. Patrick Body with another 2 interceptions tonight. Some big plays offensively as well. You saw Brad Birch against Penn Hills. We saw him throw 3 interceptions to the same player. Look a little immature growing into the 5A game. Now you get to see him at the end of the season. What are your thoughts on him leading this offense into the postseason against other 5A defenses?
If I am Gateway, I'm confident with Birch. He's looked very good, especially these last couple of games. It's the development that I think we've seen from Birch, a sophomore, a young quarterback. Now again, going into playoffs, he has won a state or a Whitfield championship, I believe 1A for Jeanette. So he has the ability to go deep into a playoff format, but again, it's a bigger conference, a bigger section, I should say, the 5A, so we'll see how the pressure gets to him. We'll see how the pressure gets to Gateway overall, and we'll see how they respond to it.
That we will. The Gators playoff bound for the 19th time in 20 seasons, looking for their 6th consecutive semifinal appearance. We will find out more about what their road looks like tomorrow night when the brackets are unveiled. And then stay tuned to the Gateway Football Broadcast Facebook page so you can find out when and where the next broadcast will be. But for tonight, our entire talented crew making everything happen tonight. There's so much hard work that goes into it behind the scenes. So a huge shout out to everyone that is such a big part of this. But for Spencer Witt, my broadcast partner, I'm Vince Russo. We will sign off for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to Gateway Football here on YouTube and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We'll see you all for the playoffs in 1 or 2 weeks. We'll find out. See you then.